call the whole season off because City are back. We're winning the lot. Treble, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, whatever it might be, City are going to win it. Welcome back to the City Ramble. Plenty of Manchester City content, especially after wins like that. Now, let me simmer myself down a touch because obviously it is only technically pre-season. There's plenty of football to be played, but the signs are looking promising, aren't they? Manchester City 5, Juventus 2, a game City simply had to win if they wanted to finish top of their Club World Cup group, and they did. We don't know yet who City are going to be playing in the next round. There is still a possibility that they could end up playing Real Madrid, even though they finished first, which would be really cruel. But I mean, City get the job done. They had to beat Juve to finish top, and they certainly did. And I mean, what a start, by the way. City could have been ahead, I think it was after 2 minutes. In the end, a goal comes early on. Ryan Nori slipping through an amazing pass for Jeremy Doku, who, you know, all of the talk about Doku, lack of end product, it's certainly, so far in the Club World Cup anyway, it's certainly arrived because that finish, cutting in and getting the shot away, I thought was just, you know, sublime. If we can see more of that, then fantastic. And if you'd have watched the video on this channel about Ryan Nori and why I believe he's going to transform City, not only because of his individual quality, but also the spaces that he's going to be occupying on that left-hand side will just be invaluable to whoever's playing on the City wing, on the City left wing, be that Doku, be that Marmoush, be that whoever else it could be, Savinho, because so often in the last couple of years with City, and I mean, it was the same for Jack Grealish. It's ironic that a player's coming in who would be really well suited to playing with Grealish the season Grealish is leaving, but the wingers would be so isolated. You know, Doku's had it so often where two players have gone on to him, they've double marked him, and he's been almost impossible to get anything done. With Ryan Nori there, he is such a handful that players have to simply go to him. And we saw that so many times in this game, obviously, with the assist for Jeremy Doku's goal. A ridiculous, I think it's safe to say, an absolutely shocking equaliser for Juventus after 11 minutes, just 2 minutes after Doku's first goal. Ederson, who threatened to kick it away moments before, picks out a Juventus player. Koop Meiners eventually finishes it. A shame. I think on the whole, not to sort of dampen it straight off the bat, but there were moments where City's defence was a little bit shaky. I think that's certainly somewhere that City are going to need to improve on because midfield and attack's looking really fluid at the moment. Fast forward into the second half, the Vlahovic goal to end things off, that I felt was a bit slow from Akanji getting out. I know he was asking for offside, but I think when you're the last man, you've got to get out quicker. And hopefully, as the Club World Cup goes on, the new season comes around, that defence starts to sort of gel together a bit more. But that first half ends, obviously, with City in the lead. Again, the opposite end, the opposite fullback, this time Matheus Nunes being slipped through by Savinho. And annoyingly, that cross was perfect. It was tailor-made for Erling Haaland. I think if we have Erling Haaland on the pitch in that first half, Matheus Nunes is whipping that onto Haaland's boot, and it's a goal. Thankfully, it's a goal anyway, because Kalulu puts it in. He had an absolute stinker of a game at the back for Juventus. And City go in at the break deservedly ahead, but I think for me, it was all about that sort of that 15, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, well, no, actually going on half an hour really, up until Savinho scores after the break, where City were just in constant control. They were sort of building attacks really comfortably. I know maybe Juventus by that point had stepped off, possibly the heat getting the better of them, but they were just so fluid in attack. And by that point, obviously, Phil Foden comes on, he scores with what I imagine would have been his first touch. I can't think of many before that. Lovely run again, in behind the defence. Savinho lays it off to him and a tap-in basically for Phil Foden. But this tournament, in my opinion, for Phil Foden was always going to be about regaining confidence. Can he go into the new season on the back of a good Club World Cup, having been getting a few goals, hopefully, fingers crossed, City go deep into the competition, but playing with a smile on his face again, and it certainly looks like he's been doing that over the last couple of matches. Then, obviously, Erling Haaland, so he scored before that. a terrible, like, sorry, it's just a really bad goal from Erling Haaland. Annoyingly, I think it's Nunes, isn't it, who puts the cross in. I don't think Nunes actually got an assist for the own goal, which is a little bit annoying. And then Savinho, goal of the game, surely goal of the game, absolutely whacks it with his right foot from about 25 yards, touching 30 yards probably, goes in off the crossbar, which are always the most aesthetically pleasing goals. And yeah, City rack up 5. They concede that goal late on to Juventus. It goes 5-1. A really commanding win. I think, in terms of standouts, obviously Jeremy Doku got the man of the match. Savinho was good. Mateus Nunes was good. Ryan Aït-Nouri I thought was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching Tijani Reinders again. Obviously, I think he maybe came off the bench against Al Ain. I can't remember. It was a middle of the night game for us in the UK, but he played really well in that first match against Wydad, and then he starts the game against Juventus, and he's just a player who's slotted in perfectly. I know some people have been suggesting, Nico Gonzalez isn't playing as much as possible, but there's a 4-year age gap on Nico Gonzalez and Tijani Reinders. Nico Gonzalez is still, I believe, a project, somebody that Guardiola will look to mould, or whoever the next manager is going to come in. He is technically one for the future, and Tijani Reinders is going to be around with City, fingers crossed, for a good few years. But he's for the now as well. He's for the here and now. He's, what is he, 27? 26 years old. I think he's turning 27 at the end of July. So he's ready to come in. He's ready to make that immediate impact. And that is what City needed. We've got it with Aït-Nouri. We've got it with Reinders. Fingers crossed we'll see it from Shirky as well. Players who are coming in straight away and making an immediate impact, because that's what City needed. They don't need, I don't believe, in this summer transfer window, any more projects. We got that in January with Vita Rice, with Kusanov, with Nico Gonzalez. Obviously, Marmoush did come in and make an immediate impact. He was lively again. He got taken off at half-time for Haaland. But yeah, Tijani Reinders, those runs in behind, by the way, just... More of them. You can tell the intensity. He was linking up with Rodri as well, who got 65 minutes under his belt, his first start since that game against Arsenal, which is another positive to take away from this match. Reinders constantly looking to get in behind the defence, which is a bit of a different role that we saw him play in this game compared to the first one against Wydad, because he was almost playing the Rodri role, sitting back, controlling, picking out passes, which he did really well. He was obviously playing a little bit more advanced this time around, and it suited him perfectly. A really positive game. Should we finish it off with some player ratings then? Because I know these always go swimmingly well, and nobody ever disagrees with them. But Edison, I mean, I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to say 5. I thought, in fact, he made a decent save, didn't he, late on? I think it might have been at 3-1. Maybe 2-1, can't remember. So yeah, where he sort of palmed it away, it looked like it was going to be a goal. So we'll bump him up to a 6. Thought Mateus Nunes was great. He's getting an 8 from me. Diaz was strong, 7. Akanji, 5.5, 6, maybe something along those lines, just because if you're the last man and you play the opposition player onside, then you're at fault for a goal, really. Ryan Aït-Nouri, 8. Both fullbacks I thought were very lively. Rodri, I'm going to go for a 7, right straight down the bat. He's getting back up to speed. There were moments of rustiness, but I thought he was on the whole really good. Well, good. Decent. Fingers crossed anyway, there's more to come. But in terms of that first start and the first minutes since obviously coming back from an ACL, first few minutes since coming back from the ACL, it was impressive. Savinho, I'm going to 7.5. Bernardo Silva can get a 7. Tijani Reinders, 7.5. Jeremy Doku, let's stick him on with, let's bump him to an 8.5 so he can get the man of the match. Marmoush, 6. For the substitutes, Erling Haaland, I mean, he gets a goal, but I don't think it can be more than... Oh, no, in fact, he was getting involved in link-up play a little bit. 7.5. Gundogan, 6. Phil Foden, 7. Nico O'Reilly and Ryan Shirky, you can both have 6s. On to round 16. City will be playing... Well, we don't know who City will be playing. It will probably be... Well, it will be one of Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Red Bull Salzburg. So yeah, can't complain. 5-2 win. Absolutely bouncing. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 5k subscriptions before the start of the new season. As always, make sure to get us on social media and join the City Ramble Discord. Until next time, it's been a pleasure, and we will see you later.